Hi everyone, my name is Linoy. I'm the MSS CIO for MENAT, so that's in the Middle East, and I work in HSBC. And it basically entails making sure that the markets and security services, IT, including strategy, and also BAU, that's all my responsibility and my team's responsibility. And we work hand in hand with the business to help them strive. So this question is actually very close to my heart, to be honest. And I've thought a lot about high-performing teams because I've been a manager since I was 28, and I'm 44 now. So a lot of years under the belt. So for me, it's very, very important, and I use a lot of underpinning. I've got like a toolkit, like an underpinning toolkit, like Chris Argis, double loop learning, and also in terms of storming, norming, performing as well, that I use that as well. So basically what I do when I take on a team, and I've worked all over the world, so I started in London, and then I went to Hong Kong, and then I went to China, and then I went to Mexico, and now I'm in Dubai. And in each area, I basically manage teams. That's what underpins my role. And I think it's very important at the beginning to set the strategy. So go in and tell your team what you want them to do and what you want them to deliver. It's very, very key, so that everyone knows where they're going and there's a vision for where they're going. And then the other thing that I do is I make sure that everyone's role is clear. So there's no ambiguity about what they're going to do. And what I try and do is match their skill set to the role. So if I see that someone is struggling on something, I'll move them. And so it's basically using the right person in the right place with the right skill set. But the other thing that I try and put into all of my vision is I'll lead from the front. I'll never ask you to do something that I won't do. So if we have to come in at 2 a.m., I'll come in at 2 a.m. and we'll do it together. And if we're in a rough spot because the project's not delivering, then I'm going to help you deliver that thing. And also, I do believe that every manager or leader should be humble. And what I mean by that is you should treat everyone the same. It doesn't matter if they're the CEO or the graduate in your team. You should treat them with the same level of respect that you would expect for yourself. And I also think that a big injection of humour and to have high morale is very, very key. And I also like diversity. I love to have diversity in the team. So I like a mix, and I love it when my people tell me, actually, no, I disagree with you here, and I think you should be doing this. I really like that. So I always try and keep an open, psychological, safe environment that people can come and say, no, I disagree with X, Y, Z. So that's basically how I manage. So I set the strategy, and then make sure that the people in my team know what their role is and use their skill set to advance what we can do. And we have, all along the way in every country, we've achieved so much. In Mexico, we set out strategy and we delivered on it. And I also I like to deliver, and I like my team to deliver, and I like to have that level of competency behind us, So that's basically how I run my teams. Seven years ago, my daughter left home to university, and up until that point, I was just working, coming home, being with my daughter, working, being at home, being with my daughter, and like on a treadmill, like got to go to work, got to buy the house, got to have the car, got to provide. And then and when she left home, it gave me time to think about what is life really about, like the big questions of life, like what's my role, what's my purpose in this world, and what's going to be my legacy. And that's twofold. So as soon as I became a manager, I knew that that's something that was perfect for me. I love managing people, and I love being a manager, and I love being a leader. And actually, I felt very, very content as soon as I became a manager and a leader of people. I was like, wow, I'm really lucky to have this calling. But then when she left home, I wanted to give back to communities, because I literally spent 18 years of her life and 18 years of my life just thinking about material things, and that for anyone it's not a soulful thing, right? And I really believe that we as leaders need to give back to community. It's very, very important. And I do that within my day job, but I also do that outside of my day job, and I'll explain what I mean. So when I hire graduates, I will interview 3 types of graduates. The one with the high end, they've been to Cambridge, they've been to Oxbridge, and then I'll take the low end, and then I'll look at people that don't have degrees. So it's like 3 levels, and I'll give anyone a chance if they've got the right mindset, and they want to work hard and they're going to be loyal. I will take them, and I've changed people's lives with that ethos over the years. But again, I decided that I wanted to go back to doing what was my dream when I was 16, which is basically to build schools in Africa. And I was on a management training course, and there was 33 people on the management training course, and I decided to pitch to have them walk 100 kilometers with me in order to build a school, because one person can raise 1,000 USD, and together we could all go to Africa and build a school. And basically they said yes, and we did. So we walked the whole of the Thames Path in London. I don't know if you know it, but it's 100 kilometers. And we raised 33k USD, and we built a school in Africa, in Malawi. And at the end of the course, the management course, the main guy said to me, "That's great, Linoy, but do you think you can keep it going?" And I was like, well, yeah, hell to the yes. So the year after, we did 300k in 3 different countries, and we raised enough money for the next school and the next school. So since that, it's been 7 years, and in that 7 years, we've built 7 schools and 1 house for the homeless in Mexico. And I think what's really key across the whole thing, and a lot of people ask me this, but they say to me, how can you marry corporate life with all the stuff that you do in CSR? And for me, it goes hand in hand, because without HSBC, I wouldn't be able to do what I do, because I'm using the network of HSBC to basically allow me to have this framework and the network to be able to raise the money to build the schools. And we go and we build the schools together. So it's like this community within a community, and it's such a beautiful thing, like people from New York have built with me, people from Mexico have built with me, people from China have walked with me, people in Hong Kong have walked with me, and it's such a movement now that it's just like it's just like extrapolating to be this incredible thing. And I take the leadership qualities of the chiefs from the village into my corporate life. So there was a chief in Nicaragua who I loved, and he and he loved all of his village, including the babies. So he would know then the babies by name, the mothers by name, and he'd built every single house in that village. And when he was on the school build with us, he was one of the strongest workers on the school build. And not only that, he was the hardest working and the most humble. So I really wanted to take what he gave me and take a small slice of it home. And I learn every day from what I do, not only within the corporate world, but outside of the corporate world. And I continue to evolve as a human being. And I think that leadership is about that. It's about the quality of your humanity and your growth within that leadership. I think as a leader, you need to understand how important you are to the people around you, especially the people that you lead. And I really try to understand the impact that I can have on my people and also on the world. And if you're a leader, I really would advise you to go home and say to yourself, would my team go to battle for me? And if the answer is yes, then wow, you're doing a great job. If the answer is no, then you need to start asking yourself why. Because your team need to be effective followers. Every effective follower will then become an effective leader. If you are a follower that doesn't want to follow the leader for whatever reason, there's an issue. But also, I would get any leader to ask the question, what's my legacy? So if I die tomorrow, am I going to be happy with what I've done? Am I going to be happy with what I'm leaving behind? And am I happy with what I've done? And if the answer is no, then you need to start asking, what can I change? And you can make very small changes. Like, you don't need to be, you don't need to wake up one day and say, I need to build schools in Africa. It can be very small. Walk into the office and say hello to every single person that you manage. Or wake up in the morning and buy coffee for the guy that you've got problems with. Or, it can be very small, very iterative, small changes that can make a massive difference, not only to you, but also to the people around you. And I do think that you need to use your EQ in order to manage. So you need to understand, are my people happy with what they're doing? How can I make them morale higher? Are they using their skills to the best of their ability? Yes, no. If no, then how to change it? And really look inside yourself and say, am I doing the best that I can do? Is this the best that I can be? And if the answer is no, then you need to change it. So I would ask those questions. Am I being the best leader and most effective leader that I can be? What's my legacy going to be if I die? And number 3, am I an effective follower? Yes, no, and if no, then why not?